I remember clearly the day my phone rang. I glanced at the caller ID and almost dropped the phone in surprise. It was my stepdaughter, Chelsea. We hadn't spoken in months, perhaps even a year. Our relationship had always been rocky ever since I married her father. At first, I assumed she was just going through normal teenage rebellion, but the older she got, the more she distanced herself. Eventually, she shut me out completely. Anytime we were in the same room, she barely acknowledged me. Once she moved out for college, her visits became rare. And when she did come by, she would say hello to her dad, then leave without speaking to me. Yet, here she was, calling me out of the blue, sounding oddly cheerful. "Hi," she began, her tone surprisingly upbeat. "I was thinking, maybe we could meet up. There's this restaurant in town I'd love to try." My heart fluttered with cautious hope. Could she be ready to fix our relationship? Despite everything, I've always wanted to be close to her. I never had children of my own, and I desperately hoped that one day she'd accept me as part of the family. So, of course, I agreed right away. I said yes and tried not to let my voice tremble with excitement. The next evening, I arrived at the fancy restaurant she had chosen. The place was upscale, crisp white tablecloths, waiters in suits, soft jazz playing in the background. I spotted Chelsea near the back. She waved me over, smiling. My heart swelled at the sight of that smile. I thought maybe she'd forgiven me for whatever mistakes she believed I made in the past. I sat down, and almost immediately, she signaled the waiter. She ordered lobster, a pricey steak, and a fancy appetizer too. I felt a little uneasy, because these were all top-dollar items, but I didn't want to spoil the moment by complaining. If this meal helped us bond, it would be worth it. I tried to start some conversation. I asked how her classes were going, if she had any new hobbies, how her apartment was. She gave short answers, barely meeting my eyes. Instead, she kept glancing at her phone, typing a few messages, then looking around the room as if she was waiting for someone else to arrive. Her energy felt restless. Between bites, she scrolled through her phone. I tried asking about her dad, hoping that might spark some warmth, but she only shrugged and said, "He's fine, I guess." I asked if something was bothering her, and she just shook her head. "No, I'm good," she replied, in a distant voice. Part of me wanted to press her to say, "Chelsea, why did you really ask me here?" But I didn't want to chase her away, so I stayed polite. The food arrived and she dug into her lobster with gusto. Meanwhile, I sipped my water, not feeling very hungry anymore. The uneasy feeling in my gut only grew stronger. When we finished eating, the waiter brought the bill. I reached for my wallet, fully prepared to cover the cost. After all, I had agreed to meet here. But just as I was about to pass my card to the waiter, Chelsea leaned in and whispered something to him. I couldn't quite catch it. He nodded, and then she turned to me with a tight smile. "Sorry, I need to use the washroom," she said hastily, standing up. "I'll be right back." She slipped away so quickly I didn't even get to say anything. The waiter lingered by the table, bill in hand, looking at me expectantly. Confused, I checked the total. My eyes widened at the huge number at the bottom, thanks to the expensive seafood, steak, and wine she'd ordered. My chest tightened with a feeling of dread. Was she really going to make me pay all this? I had hoped we'd at least split it, or that she was inviting me out as a peace gesture. After a few moments of waiting, it became obvious she wasn't coming back. The minutes ticked by. The waiter began shifting awkwardly. I asked him, "Did she say something to you just now?" He looked uncomfortable. "She said you would take care of the bill," he explained quietly. And then she left to, well, I assumed to go to the restroom. But she never returned. Feeling embarrassed, I handed over my credit card. The waiter processed the payment, and I left a tip, though my heart felt heavy. I felt used, like she'd only called me to get a free fancy meal. The idea cut me deep, more than the blow to my wallet. I walked out into the cool night air, my thoughts spinning. Maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. She had always been distant, but I had never thought she'd pull something like this. It hurt to know that her first attempt at contact in months had been just to get an expensive dinner from me. As I stepped onto the sidewalk, I heard a sound behind me. It was the shuffle of footsteps and a soft click, as if someone quickly ducked into the shadows. My heart jumped. I glanced over my shoulder, and in the dim light of a street lamp, I saw a shape quickly disappearing around the corner. For a second, I thought maybe it was Chelsea, but it could have been a random passerby. I felt a strange chill run through me, like I was being watched. I sighed, telling myself that my imagination was in overdrive. Even if it was her, perhaps she was ducking away, embarrassed at being caught. Or maybe it was just some stranger who happened to be in the same spot at the same time. On the drive home, my emotions raged inside me. Was this her way of getting revenge for feeling like I stole her father? Did she really hate me that much? I tried to recall every moment we shared, searching for where things went wrong. My mind returned to a memory of when she was younger, and I tried to bake cookies with her. She had been all smiles then. What changed? When I finally got back to my apartment, I sank onto the couch, exhaustion washing over me. The expensive dinner, the awkward silence, the sudden exit, and that unsettling sense that someone was lurking nearby made the evening feel like a bad dream. Maybe I should confront her or tell her father, but part of me wanted to just leave it alone, to avoid more drama. Now, here is my question. If someone close to you invited you to an expensive dinner and then left you with the bill, would you confront them directly about how hurt you felt? Or would you simply let the relationship drift even further apart?